Hi you guys, welcome to my page. I'm Allie Wilkins. So today I wanted to share with you some of the tools that I use to make my space a very high vibration, to really cultivate a powerful energy within my home. So many people when they come over, they're like, your house feels like a sanctuary. Your space feels like it just has this vibration to it. And I'm like, yes, that's because I put a lot of time on a consistent basis. I put a lot of time into cultivating and crafting a very specific vibration in my house. Some might call that witchy. Anyways, so I wanted to share some of the things that I do because they just feel so helpful to me. So I want you to have access to them too if you haven't thought of some of this stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is crystal gridding. So there are many different energies that can come into your house, either from literal people coming in, or like, when your husband comes home after work and he had a crappy day, or the people at work gave him their negative vibes, he comes in with that negative energy, or physical people come into your house that are energy vampires, or even just like the external world is crazy. We've got to protect ourselves. So from the, like, energetically, I mean. So one thing that I do in all of the rooms of my house is I use selenite and I use a clearing crystal and a protective crystal in the corners of the rooms. So if you're creating a crystal grid, this is different from like those mandala looking crystal grids, that are like beautiful, but this isn't the same thing. This is gridding your room with crystals. So this is going to create a sort of boundary of the energy. So you could do this with a lot of different things. For example, let's start with this and then we'll move into other ideas of ways you can apply this. So this is black tourmaline. There are many protective crystals. Pretty much any black crystal is going to be protective. I like black tourmaline the most because it helps with negative energy, like your own negative energy, but it also keeps away negative entities. And it just dispels negativity in general. But there are other black crystals like jet, obsidian, shungite. Shungite's really good for protecting yourself from 5G and from EMFs. I have those actually on my window over here. So there's a lot of different black crystals you can get. Like I said, this is black tourmaline. I have this all over the house. So I put this in the corners. So I'm in my bedroom right now and I have this in 4 corners of the room. I work with a lot of energy, so I have beings and spirits and stuff visiting me throughout the day or at nighttime, and I'm like, hey, you can't be in my bedroom. Workspace only. So I keep this here. And of course, not all beings are negative. I just want to say that. But this is what helps me to keep the energy in my space positive and loving so that those entities cannot come in. So I put this in all 4 corners of my bedroom, also just my house. I keep them around the front door. I have them in little pieces too. I'm just using this as a big chunk because it's easy for you to see. And then you can also use selenite. So selenite is unique. One, you can't put it in water because it will dissolve. You can see up here it has I don't know how I want to describe it. It's not like fragile, but it has a different texture than a lot of crystals, and it's sort of like a salt lamp. Like if you poured water on it, it would melt. So anyways, selenite is a clearing crystal that actually doesn't need to be charged. So I keep this, I have a big one like this under the bed. And I keep this in the 4 corners of my room. I also have little small ones. See, told you. So I have this little small one. This is obviously a pointed one, so you could point it in a certain direction. I just have this in the corner back here. I'll put that away in a second. So I keep a protective crystal and a clearing crystal just like this in each corner of my room. They don't need to be this big. They can be small. Like this is probably, there's small pieces of selenite for sure, smaller than this. You can just have a little tumble piece. It doesn't need to be huge like this one. I highly suggest putting this underneath your bed. I'm not going to say it's going to help with nightmares because I have very prophetic dreams. Like I see there's a lot of symbolism in my dreams, and sometimes they're scary. So, or they seem darker of energy, but this, I just feel like it protects me. So I keep it underneath my bed, right underneath where my head goes. You can also put other crystals underneath your bed. So you can have, I used to do like a chakra thing underneath the bed. So I'd have like a blue calcite underneath my head. I'd have, I'd use the colors of the chakra system and put it down underneath the bed. But now I have like suitcases under my bed. So anyway, you can do that as well in your room. Something else that I personally do, this is like really over the top, and a lot of people would be like, you're dumb, you spend way too much time doing this. So I obviously cultivate, I put a lot of intention into my space. So you can see this is one of my altars here. This might scare you. It's a picture. This is Hathor. This is my rose lineage altar. So I'm just going to leave it there. If you know about it, you know about it. If you don't, you don't. So I have altars all over my house, and if you use altars, you have to keep them clean. And I also think that you have to be moving the energy, because a lot of people just have an altar and then it's like there for 5 years and it's never touched. Maybe it's dusted a little, but for me, my energy and it might just be the time of the world, everything that's going on, everything is shifting around me so quickly that every moon cycle, every full moon, but really, actually, let's be real, every moon cycle, I'm moving crystals around my house. So I'm just going to show you, ignore my clothes on the bed here. Where do I want to show you? Like up there, that triangle thing, I move the crystals around there. I have crystals over here that I move. I have crystals up there that I move. I have crystals in a lot of places. It's just hard for me to, see from this angle. I'm moving them all the time, and I'm moving them based on what I think that I need, based on what is the support I'm looking for right now. So you can see here, I have 2 oracle cards, and these are the archetypes that I'm working with right now, really, and developing them. And so I have them on my altar. They're not the prettiest because they don't match with all this stuff, but they help me keep my focus on what I'm trying to grow in. And I feel like energy just radiates out from them. So you can also create different actual crystal grids around the house. What else? So what I was going to say before, this aligns with this, if you're wanting to work on a certain thing or a certain habit, this is also where moving these crystals around strategically will really help you. So for example, if you're having a lot of anxiety, get a crystal like blue calcite, a light blue crystal, and hold that when you're sleeping, or put it underneath your bed, or put it in your workspace if that's where you're feeling a lot of anxiety. You can create these grids in small portions of your house. So if you want your kitchen to feel really loving, and you want to be making food with your family and there's lots of love, you could put rose quartz in the corners of the kitchen. So what I personally do is by my bed, I have main altars where I will put the main energies I'm working with. I'm just wild and have altars everywhere, and there's so many crystals. But by my bed, I have a shelf that's over here, and I use pointed crystals like this one, and I direct them at my bed. So when I'm sleeping, certain energies are moving in there. That's what the point does. It directs energy. So right now I have sunstone and citrine moving there to keep me in a positive, uplifted vibration. And I also have a photo of Mary Magdalene, so she's sort of sending that energy to me. That's how I perceive it. And so you might be like, you're crazy, but it's who cares? All of this stuff, people literally, every time people come in my house, they're like, this is a magical space. And also plants add a lot to it as well. I think that's kind of what I wanted to share today. Just think about, what are you trying to work with energetically? What are you trying to amplify? What are you trying to release? What are you trying to remove? And bring those crystals around you. So for example, I have this crystal over here. I used to work with carnelian a lot. I use this a lot with Sekhmet's energy, who is back here, the Egyptian goddess. So carnelian is a really intense stone. I use this on and off, but I really used to use this when I started my journey, and especially with healing the sacral chakra. And, but this is a really intense stone. So I'm kind of I don't really need this around me right now. So I have it over here in the corner. Also, something like this can actually, if this is by your bed, this can give you a lot of energy. So some people have trouble sleeping if they have carnelian in bed with them. I hold this is useful. So I sleep with a clear quartz crystal. It's actually a big, beautiful, chunky one, but I don't feel like getting up to get it. I sleep with this clear quartz crystal. I used to sleep with a lot of other crystals like amethyst, or well, sometimes that's if it's polished, because if it's raw it might like poke you. I sleep with lapis lazuli sometimes, but what I've heard is that clear quartz is the best because it's not going to influence your dreams at all. So if you're sleeping with rose quartz, you might start, this is just an example, you might start having dreams that are like kind of sugarcoating like rose colored glasses. Like you might have a dream about a dude you're seeing and he's actually not really the right fit, but the rose quartz kind of like, you know, makes it seem, I don't know, you get what I'm saying? What I've heard is that it can taint the quality of your dreams, or can taint the filter of the dreams that you're looking through. So I try to just sleep with clear quartz. I do sleep with lapis lazuli all the time though, which I don't have right here. But yeah, you can create really powerful spaces very easily. So the last thing I'll kind of share here is with the full moon, what I do is I take all of my crystals out. I keep the nicer, I keep my altar crystals, or the ones that are pricier. Like I just put them on my windowsill in my room, or jewelry, because I'm always like, I'm afraid like a bird is gonna fly off with a like $100 necklace or something. Probably stupid, but whatever. So I put those types of things on my windowsill. Underneath the full moon, I leave the blinds up so the moon can access it. Everything else I take outside onto my balcony and I put underneath the moon. And I let it sit overnight. And then in the morning, I come back and I'm like, okay, where do I want these crystals to go? And because I have so many crystals, if you're like me, I separate them by room so I can remember, because I like truly have, I probably have hundreds of crystals, like if not more than that. So I separate them by room so that it's easy for me to remember where I put them. It takes like an hour to put them back. I'm not joking, because I'm so careful in considering where things are going. A lot of people would be like, this is a huge waste of your time. And I'm like, well, look at me 6 months ago, look at me a year ago, look at me 3 years ago, and tell me I'm the same person, because these are supporting my growth. These are supporting the things I'm wanting to expand in myself. If I'm feeling really judgmental, I'll have like I have a green malachite crystal that's in the other room, and I'll put that by my bed, or I'll put that in a space that I'm going to be in a lot. I have specific crystals in the bathroom. I have one of those, like goddess body crystals that have gotten really popular. I have one of those in the bathroom. I have a little statue thing like this of Aphrodite in the bathroom, who now I've been learning about Greek goddesses and I'm like a little turned off. But anyways, another video about that another time. But Aphrodite is one of the goddesses of beauty. So I have these stones in there that are about acceptance. And so it's supporting a body image thing, right? It's supporting how I see myself. And so I carefully put all of these crystals where I need them in that time frame. Because also, if you're working with the moon cycles, that also is going to help you grow. I'll put a video up here in the corner that I talk about moon cycles and working with them. But all this stuff is going to help you grow. And so the crystals and the plants too. Oh, let's talk about plants really fast. So like I also move plants around. So plants have energy. Plants have personalities, you could say, right? Different varieties of plants have their own vibe. This is a snake plant. Because it's pointy, this is like, first of all, you can get like a plant magic book or just Google it and look up like what are the spiritual meanings of plants. And if you're like, you're crazy, think about how all the different cures of plants, how do you think that they were found out? People weren't just randomly testing stuff, like maybe sometimes, but plants also speak to you. You can have conversations with plants. We just live in a world where we've been totally removed from magic, totally removed from feminine energy. So we think that stuff is ridiculous. Try it. Just sit in front of a tree in your backyard, and just be quiet and wait for it to speak to you. Like, ask permission to be with it. They all will speak to you differently. So anyways, this is a snake plant. So this is a protective, I see a snake plant as protective because of all these points. So I also have a little thing of Archangel Michael. I keep crystals also in my plants because they love them. So I have this also because it's like, I don't really use this one other places because it's just so weird. It can't stand up by itself. And anyways, so I keep that crystal in here. So this serves, this might be like TMI, but so my closet is right next to this. And at nighttime, like a lot of times I'll see energies in the closet. So I have a bigger chunky one right here, right at the foot of the closet. And then I keep, ow, I just fell. And then I keep this in front of the closet because I feel like there's a lot of energy portals or something in there. So, I also have this by my front door, another snake plant. Now this plant back here is, I forget what this is exactly called, like lemon lime plant or something, but it's a prayer plant. It might be called a lemon lime prayer plant. So you can see, let me just show you closer. It's beautiful. At nighttime, the leaves all rise. So they rise to the heavens. So I actually call this my ancestor plant. So I work with this plant specifically for my ancestors. So this, when you work with skulls, a lot of times it's not like because you're goth, it's because what I used to think. Skulls are actually help you tune into ancient cultures. So I use this right now. I'm using it to work with my ancestors. I keep dropping these crystals. So I have this plant specifically on my rose lineage altar because I'm trying to remember my lifetimes as a priestess, my lifetimes doing this work as a druid, as a shamaness, as a priestess, as all of these different roles that aren't around today. I'm trying to learn from my mastery in those lifetimes or from my ancestors who are doing the same thing. So I have that there. I have ivies hanging. I have ivy around my desk. Ivy is really good for abundance. And also, it shows you energy. So ivy, it's actually called like pothos. Ivy will, the leaves will wither when there's a lot of negative energy. Like not die, but they'll wilt a little bit as compared to how it usually is. So if you really pay close attention, you can see like if someone's in your house or if your energy is just bad, it's like, ew, get out of here. So I also have a big Montestera over here. I call that my goddess plant. I have a money tree. You can also use these plants in specific parts of your house to amplify your energy, to support you, with what you're working with. So I also have amethyst all by my bed because I like that peaceful energy flowing through. Okay, that's really it. I hope this video helped you. If you feel called to leave a donation, I put my donation link here because I'm creating so many of these videos and it takes me time and skill and years of learning to share this. So if you feel called to donate, I would highly appreciate it, but it's not expected at all. I just make these because I want to be of service. So also, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel because I have a lot of other cool videos like this. Please like it and comment on it so that more people can see it. But also, so that I can hear how you like this video. If you have any tips you want to share so other people can see too, please put that in the comments as well. But I'd love to hear your takeaways. So that's it. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next video.